BCS until they could actually...
And then USC Texas happened. Everyone's like, oh, that's
yeah. Well, I went to the first BCS championship game at the Rose Bowl. It wasn't that game. It was 4 years earlier when that Miami super team blew out Nebraska. And Eric Crouch, I was at that game.
Yeah.
Look, like I said, I always like more college football, but I see a lot of potential headaches. I want to also go from a player standpoint here. Let's say you're not an elite quarterback, okay, but you are a guy that you're a lineman or somebody that thinks, hey, maybe I have an opportunity to expand my game and play at the next level in the NFL. And let's say you go to Alabama, and you're a 4-year starter. I'm looking at the schedule here. If Alabama were to get to 4 straight championship games, where you're playing like 64 games in a 4-year career of college. Is that a problem? Is that too much for a college-level player? I know you got youth on your side, but how much wear and tear are we talking about?
I'm trying to think, I mean, there's always the knock of Bama players, right? They come in the NFL, and they're a little beat up, right? Like so many games. I'm trying to think of like linemen, defensive linemen who kind of fail because they were... I mean, it's not hard to find.
Is 16 games too much for a college kid?
Okay, so... physically, no, right? Physically, not really. They're young enough, they recover fine.
Sure.
But everything else, right? Mentally, they're still in college, right? They still have college courses to take.
Sure.
They're still doing it. As much as you might laugh because that's not why they're there, they still have to go to class, right?
Yeah.
They still have to
stay eligible.
To do the homework. They also want to have social lives. Like, when I'm in the NFL, I have a wife, I have kids. Like, I don't need to have a social life anymore. But in college, they're not married, they don't have kids. They want to have a social life. So they want to have a social life, school, 16 games, then a spring ball, which spring ball probably is not going to be very much anymore if you make it all that way. I mean, even in the NFL, if you win the Super Bowl, your spring practice is very tapered down. So, yeah, I mean, it's from a mental standpoint for the players, it's going to be much tougher, and it's going to be much tougher, again, if you don't have a chance to win. And the thing about it, guys, is that while you might think that UCF has a chance to win the title, the players know they're not going to win the title. They might win a game. They think they can beat whoever they're playing in round 1. But deep down, they know they're not going to beat, let's just use Oregon, beat Oregon, and then beat Clemson, and then beat Ohio State, and then beat Alabama.
Right.
They know they're not doing it.
I go back. I was at that Boise State game. I was there when they beat Oklahoma in that Fiesta Bowl. It wasn't a great Oklahoma team. It was an unbelievable game. The reason I was there is one of the Boise State players was a friend of ours. I'd known him since he was 8 years old. His family was entrenched. We told him, hey, if you guys get to the Fiesta Bowl, I'm going to pack up the wagon, bring the kids. We're all going to go to the game. We saw one of the most memorable games in college football history. But I remember after that game, because Boise, was 13-0, they wanted to take on the big boys. And I'm thinking, what if you had a playoff? Now, this is before there was a playoff, obviously. And the next game, they get blown out like 45-10 by, Alabama or something like that. Would that take away from that win? And everyone's like, of course it would. Because that win stands alone. That's how their season ended. And any argument about, any legitimate claim to a national championship because they finished the season undefeated just goes into perpetuity. But if the next week they had to play in Alabama and get crushed, then who remembers that game, right? Certainly not the same way we remember that game now. So I'm with you on this. If you're talking about a group of 5 school out of the AAC or the MAC or the Mountain West, whoever, and they do pull some miracle upset and then get pounded in the next game, the impact of the upset is going to be much diminished, no question.
And look, and there's no doubt that Boise State beating Oklahoma, Utah beating Alabama, those are great wins for the program.
Yeah.
And it elevated their program, and it did wonderful things for the program. So your point about if you win that game and lose the next one, that's very much diminished, right? Like I think that if a group of 5 were taking a truth serum, they're glad they're in the playoff. But to your point, I think I'd rather have a one-off, right? Like UCF, they beat Auburn, right, a couple years ago. That game, if it was a playoff game, I bet you Auburn kind of shows up to that game a little bit better. But if they, to your point, they beat Auburn and then loses to Ohio State next, it's not the same, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't give them as much juice. So I'm with you. Again, they're going to. ESPN right now is paying $740 million.
Right.
For 7 games, right? No, it's 3 games. For 3 games.
Yeah.
But they actually have like all teams are like 35 or like 37 games, but nonetheless, they're paying all that money for the playoffs. Imagine now how much money they're going to get. Fox will have 4 games, CBS will have 4 games, ESPN will have 4 games, NBC, if Notre Dame's playing, maybe they get the opportunity to do a Notre Dame playoff game. There's just going to be so much money involved here that it's going to look even kind of grosser, the players not seeing any of this money. To your point, how do you do that? I don't know.
Well, they're going to try and figure it out. To go from 3 games to 11 games, that's what we're talking about. And if there's a way to get there and make all that money, you'd be surprised how many people are going to jump on that bandwagon. On the other side, into an NFL coach scolding the media. Not a good idea. You'll hear about it coming up next. The NBA playoffs are heating up. The second round action is finally going down. Who will emerge and who will raise the Larry O'Brien trophy? Find out now. Oh, yeah. Fox Sports Radio. Is your dad's razor older than you are? Does it belong in a museum? Get him something new for Father's Day. A DSC 6-blade razor is perfect for an extra close, precise shave. The best Father's Day gift is giving Dad something he won't give himself. Top-shelf grooming products. Dollar Shave Club's got you and Dad. Get one now at a store near you or as part of a gift set at dollarshaveclub.com/Knox. That's dollarshaveclub.com/Knox. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider and are only available at the provider determines prescriptions. Appropriate subscription required. See website for full details and for the safety information. Hey guys, good news. The expensive little blue pill is now generic, which means the prescription medication to treat ED is super affordable at 4hims.com. And now get your first online doctor's visit free at 4hims.com. That's right, zero copay, no awkward face-to-face conversations to get your prescription. That's really good news. To start your free online visit, go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/joy. That's FORHIMS.com/